Good morning, peace. How you doing, family? It's Mr. R2 here at the Currency Podcast Monday morning. Every Monday morning. Today is what? Tuesday? What am I talking about? Monday? I don't know. Forgive me. All right, today is Tuesday morning, 7:30 in the morning. Every morning we will be right here unless it's a holiday and I throw a video up for you. But make sure you pay attention. Today we're going back to part 2 of what there is power in the pause. If you understand the process of power in the pause, just go ahead and put pause inside the comment section because we're going to begin to open up and expand your mind to what pause is and how pause is actually beneficial for you. So make sure you share this live on your news feed. If you don't know how to share, if you're not really up on technology, when you're watching it, up at the bottom, you're able to click share or press share, and then you can share it either with the group or you can share it on your normal news feed. So make sure you share this because there will be benefits to watching this, because there is going to be something that you can take away or something that you can actually utilize now. You can utilize it now, or you can utilize it when you get prepared or when you are ready to use it. You have the ability to go back into that bag and pull it out of that tool bag and say, I will use or I will exercise my power of pause right now. Because once you exercise the power of pause, it will allow you to get in that moment to where you're understanding yourself a whole lot more or a whole lot greater than what you're doing or where you are in that present moment. So, as you already know, we're going to take you through the definition. Then we're going to take you through the etymology. And once we get in that moment, you're going to begin to tap into it. Hey, good morning. How you doing? How you doing, Miss Selena? All right, here we go. So let's jump deep into it with both feet. All right, so let me go ahead and pull this screen up. So we're going to go back just to catch some people up, those who may be here for the first time, and for those that may be watching it on the replay, we're going to take you back and then we're going to bring you forward and give you 4 plus 1. So normally, like yesterday, I gave you 4 bullets that you can take away, or 4 things that you can write down in your journal about the power of pause and things and measures that you can use. But today I'm giving you 4 plus 1, so I gave you an extra one. All right, so here we go, power of pause. And we're going again back to the definition of pause. Pause is an interruption, interrupt action, or speech briefly. Pause is an interrupt action or speech briefly. Again, take a moment to pause or interrupt the action right now of you listening to share this on your live. Those that are listening on the podcast or on YouTube, if you're listening on a podcast, make sure you're at some point in time in the day, you take that pause and share the link with someone that you know is always busy and always everywhere at one time. Take that moment to give them this link and say, you know what, it's good, but let's pause for a moment. All right. So again, the definition of pause is interrupt action or speech briefly. And the second definition, it is a temporary stop or action or speech. Temporary means that you are not always going to be in that moment. You're not stopping. You're just taking a brief pause for the moment as you collect your thoughts and gather your thoughts or things, whatever it is, whatever type of pause that you're taking, it is an action that you're taking. Now we're going into the next definition, which is a control allowing of temporary interruption of process. That means that you took the time out to have a controlled pause, something that you pause on purpose, and you've managed what and how the expectations are going to be, because when you took that allowed interruption, that allowed you to think. That allowed you to strategize. That allowed you to put yourself in a position to know what the next step is going to be, because you took that temporary interruption of process on purpose. Not something that was forced upon you, but something that you actually did. And the etymology of pause, it is Latin. It is going back to a hesitation proceeding from doubt or uncertainty. It is a hesitation proceeding from doubt or uncertainty. I want you to step out of doubt on faith. I want you to take that uncertainty feeling, take that pause, and know where you're going to go once you take that very first step, or once you take the very next step, because sometimes in our pause, we have already begun to take the actions forward. So when we have already taken our actions forward, then we have to understand that we have to step out of doubt or step out of that uncertainty, that uncertain feeling, and take the next step on faith after you have taken that pause. Remember, when you take a pause on purpose, that means you're doing something intentional because you know that you're still in it to win it. And again, yesterday we talked about a tactical pause, which is a deliberate break in the operation that allows an organization or person to regroup. For those that have watched it yesterday, part 1, have you practiced your tactical pause? And if you did practice a tactical pause, how was it for you? What was your experience in your tactical pause? What was your experience in your deliberate break? Did you learn something about yourself when you took that tactical pause? Or did you learn something about yourself when you took that deliberate break? Did you breathe during your deliberate break? Did you allow yourself to, did you read when you was in that deliberate break? Did you eat during that deliberate break? Because a lot of times we get so busy doing things that we don't take those deliberate breaks, which actually can possibly help us out when we take our next step. After the pause, what are you doing? After you have taken that deliberate break, are you allowing yourself to regroup? Because remember, in order for you to regroup, you have to consolidate. Regroup, you have to consolidate things, your thoughts, your personal things. Once the consolidation of the things that you're gathering together, then you have to reorganize them before you begin to take your next step. All right, so something that I've been I was looking at today, and I think we can all look at it from a real and honest perspective, is your natural pause. And your natural pause is that aha moment. Now, what I want you to do is Google natural pause. And when you Google natural pause, it's talking about the aha moment. Now, I want you to look at this from a personal perspective, things that you have either seen or even when you've been in that aha moment. Have you ever been in that aha moment? Because in the natural pause, it talks about the aha moment, and you either look up, you're like, oh, aha, I get it. Your eyes get bright because you're taking that natural pause, because there's something that sparks the brain. There's something that sparks thought. There's something that stops you in your tracks to say, oh, I get it. You're either taking that aha moment and you're looking up in the sky, or you're taking that aha moment and you're looking down. But the best part about that natural pause, that it intentionally allows you to internalize. Have you ever had that natural pause which allowed you to internalize? It made you look within. It made you look up. It made you look at the things that you're doing that you probably could have done better. It made you look at the things that you're doing that told you that you need to take a break, or told you need to take that tactical pause. That's that natural pause. It is okay to have a natural pause and either to look up or to look down, but you will definitely look within. And that is you taking that natural pause. And this part I love. Again, this is an R2 definition. So I know we've all heard the term, it's easy to catch a bee with honey than it is with vinegar. But What do you do in that pause? This says you can catch more bees with gratitude than you can with attitude. You can catch more bees with gratitude than you can with attitude. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it in two different perspectives. I'm going to put it in the natural perspective, meaning with the actual physical bee itself. And then I'm going to take you into the psychological aspect of you can catch more bees with gratitude than you can with attitude. So from the natural sense, you can catch more bees with gratitude than you can with attitude. Instead of you going out there and being upset about being around those, now if you're a bee catcher, I'm not telling you if you're afraid of bees and you're out there trying to catch them because you don't want to have an attitude, but if that was something that you were supposed to do, instead of catching that attitude and going out there and disrupting the bees because you have an attitude, and everybody in that moment has an attitude. You have an attitude. The bees is angry because you brought your attitude to the beehive. Now what's going to happen? You're going to get stung. But if you had the spirit of gratitude, or if you had the courage of gratitude, and you're going to the bees like, you know what? I'm coming. I'm calm. Because if I'm calm, I'm not going to naturally get stung. I'm coming, just like if you've seen like on National Geographic and stuff like that, you're coming in the bees and you have the smoke and stuff like the smoke that they bring because they want the bees to stay calm. They want the bees to stay calm in order for them to get into that sweet spot of getting the honeycombs that you can actually use later, whether you're going to eat it or you're going to use the honeycombs for health and wellness reasons. But they had to have a spirit of gratitude and not have a spirit of attitude, or you're going to get stung because you came in it with the wrong spirit. So now let's go from the psychological standpoint. You can catch more bees with attitude than you can with gratitude. Put in the comment section how you see this. You can either put in a scenario or you can put your very own definition on how you see you can catch more bees with gratitude than you can with attitude. So from the psychological standpoint of how do you catch more bees with gratitude than you can with attitude? With gratitude, you're able to understand that person a lot better than you coming in with your bad attitude. What if you took the pause to learn that person? What if you took power in the pause to understand the gift that person naturally has? What if you took the power of the pause to learn your child's learning capabilities, to learn more about how that child reads, to learn more about how that child comprehends, to learn more about what makes your husband tick, to learn more about what happens when this takes place? I guarantee you will catch more bees with gratitude than you ever will with attitude. You don't need to be stung if you come to the table with gratitude. I mean, you don't need to be stung if you come to the table with attitude, but come to the table with gratitude. I guarantee you will get more honey out of the beehive when you come to the beehive with gratitude and not attitude. All right. So I want you to understand that you do have power in your pause. There's nothing wrong with you taking a break. There's nothing wrong with you taking that tactical pause. There's nothing wrong with you understanding that gratitude needs to be up front and foremost in your mind, and not you coming to the table with your attitude. Come to your table with gratitude, and I guarantee you will get a lot more done when you come to the table with gratitude than attitude. All right, so now we're going to go into the other portion. So I'm going to give you 4+1 tips on how to take the pause. There's power in the pause. All right, the very first one that I want you to understand is take a restorative pause. Jot that down in your journal. If you understand that, just put restorative inside the chat. But I want you to take a restorative pause. What is a restorative pause? That is you taking time out for your health and well-being. That's like taking self-care. Taking that tactical pause and focusing on the things that you know that actually restores your health, whether it's running in the morning, whether it's reading a book, whether it's drinking water, whether it's eating the right things, whether it's surrounding yourself with the right people. Take a restorative pause, because when you take that restorative pause, it has the ability to reconstruct some of the things that you know that have been torn down, or some of the things that allows you to put yourself in the position to be bigger, better, and greater than where and what you were before. Number 2, I want you to replace busy with focus. Replace busy with focus. How many of you out there have always been in the busy mindset? Oh, I'm always busy. Oh, I'm doing this. Oh, I'm doing this. Oh, I'm doing that. But what if you replace busy with focus? It may allow you to think clear. It may allow you to increase your productivity because you have replaced busy with focus. Even when we're using the language, what if you change your language and say, you know what? Today I got a lot of things I need to focus on today, as opposed to you saying, oh, today's a busy day. Because I even think about it, even say it. There's an emotional connection or connotation when you say, oh, I have a busy day. It makes you feel rushed. It makes you feel like your pulse rate is increasing because, oh, I'm busy. But then I want you to say to yourself, psychologically, say to yourself, today, I have a lot of things. I have things I need to focus on today. You know how many of those things there are, but just say, I have things I need to focus on today. It may be 10 things, whatever it is. It may be 20 things, whatever it is. But if you change the way that you say it, you will definitely change the way that you see it. I want you to say this for you yourself. I don't care if you don't put it inside the chat, but when you put it inside of your mind, I will replace focus. I will replace busy with focus. I will replace busy with focus. And I guarantee you will have a much more clearer way that you're thinking. You will have clarity to your thought because you already have replaced the word busy with focus, because you're not having a cluttered mind of busy thoughts. You're having a focused mind with intentional thoughts, because you took the power of pause to refocus your brain to look at the word focus instead of deliberately utilize the word busy. And now you're rushing. Now you're speeding. Now you're getting speeding tickets. Now you're forgetting things. Now you're running into walls. Now you're running into situations and circumstances because you didn't take the power to replace your busy with focus. All right, number 3. Now, number 3 is pull the trigger. Pull the trigger. Pull the trigger in your natural pause. Now, I'm going to show you something. I used to teach people how to shoot, especially in the military as a drill sergeant and even as an NCO. There is something called your natural pause. That is when you're taught to pull the trigger. As you can see right now, you have the rise and the fall, the inhale and the exhale. Those 2 trigger points is your natural respiratory pause. So in your natural respiratory pause, meaning in your deliberate break, execute. After you have taken your tactical pause, because again, remember, you have the inhale and you have the exhale. In the exhale, this is just firing. If you know how to fire a weapon, then you know what I'm talking about. Again, this is taking the natural state, putting it in a psychological state, and allowing you to see it from a different perspective. So in your deliberate break that you're taking, after you have consolidated and reorganized, take that first step, pull the trigger, and then allow yourself to breathe again. And after you do that, I guarantee you will be able to focus a lot more. You'll be able to hit your targets a lot more. Because those who know about firing, when you're supposed to fire in that natural pause and you're holding your breath, your natural pulse is going to pull your weapon to where you're missing the targets or you're missing the mark. So pull the trigger when you're ready in your natural pause. Don't allow nobody to force you to pull the trigger. Don't allow nobody to make you start, whether it's start a business. Don't allow anybody to make you start a conversation that you're not ready to have. Because remember, in your natural pause, it is easier to catch bees with gratitude than you are with attitude. All right. The next one is number 4 is pause to disconnect without fear. Pause to disconnect without fear. You can't be afraid of disconnecting from people. So for those that understand this image, now I wasn't alive during this time. This right here is a switchboard. Back in the day, before you had a cell phone or before you even had a landline, there was a switchboard that disconnected you intentionally, and it reconnected you with those who you wanted to connect with. Again, I'll say it again, from the physical form. A switchboard will intentionally disconnect you and reconnect you with who you wanted to connect with. Now I want you to understand, you have to be okay, and you will have to be okay with not being afraid with disconnecting with everyone. You have to be okay and not afraid with disconnecting with those who you don't connect with, because you're not going to connect with everyone, and you have to be okay with that. Don't be afraid of disconnecting with people you don't connect with. That is taking that pause and looking at your surroundings like, you know what? I don't really connect with that person. So why am I still forcing myself to connect with that person? We don't even speak the same language. Again, the switchboard, it will connect you to the things or connect you to the people that you connect with. But what if there is a disconnect with the connection? You're not going to hear them properly, or you're not going to hear properly. You're not going to be focused properly because you're still trying to connect with people, or trying to connect with things, or trying to connect with businesses that you know that you don't connect with, and you cannot be afraid with disconnecting from those you don't connect with. So pause to disconnect without fear. All right, the very last one is the extra one. This is the freebie. This is the extra one. Stay in the ring, stay in the fight. So what does that mean? Stay in the ring, stay in the fight. So stay in the ring to stay in the fight, that actually means you're not going to win every round. Even the greatest of champions, even Floyd Mayweather, 50-0, he had to take a break in between the rounds. So what makes you think that you're going to have to fight 50 rounds without taking a break? So stay in the ring and stay in the fight, and understand that it's going to take endurance in order for you to get to your destination. It's going to take endurance in order for you to continue to go down or go down that journey. Stay in the ring, stay in the fight. Don't be afraid to disconnect from those who you know you don't connect with. And I want you to understand, it is better to catch a bee. It is easier to catch a bee with gratitude than it is with attitude. Peace. Make sure you share this live with somebody. Put in a comment in the comment section how you felt and what was your greatest takeaway. Was it number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, whichever one for you it was. But I just want you to stay in the fight. Today is Tuesday. You're still in the fight. You have more days in this week. Whatever happened to you yesterday did not knock you out of the ring. Whatever happened to you this morning did not knock you out of the ring. Put yourself in that tactical pause and deliberately take a break. Take that breather. Allow yourself to understand that your superpower is your pause. Breathe, inhale, exhale. Get yourself out of that car. Get yourself out of that rut. Get yourself out of that train of thought. Exchange your busy for focus, because consistency will definitely create currency. Peace.